So we've got The Weeknd, After Hours, 14 songs, 56 minutes long. Talk about King Fuckboy. He hasn't changed one bit. He is still King Fuckboy.
I disagree very strongly. I think this is the next arc in The Weeknd's, like, I'm actually not being sarcastic. Actually.
Interesting.
This is the latest part in The Weeknd's overall arc, and he's doing something which most celebrity musician artists don't do, which is grow the fuck up.
Well, I was about to say, it's not the Gestafelstein song last year where he said, I want to fuck you slowly, the lights on. It's not.
Maybe you can bring a friend who could sit on top of face while I fuck you straight.
Exactly. It's not that. It's definitely politically speaking. It still has like the fuckboy mentality because that's his persona.
That's The Weeknd.
That's The Weeknd, exactly. But I was gonna say it's not bad. It's there's a couple songs in here I like, and there's a lot of themes.
Really.
But there's a little theme. The first part of the album, I was underwhelmed a lot by the first about 3 or 4 songs. It took me a while to get into it, and I had to listen to it twice, and actually a little bit after to get into it, because he saved the best for the later half of the album.
I agree. The latter half of the album is just like incredible, really and then after that, before that, I was just sort of like, okay, this is passable Weeknd. Like, there's a couple songs on here in the earlier part. I think Alone Again and Too Late started very strongly.
Interesting.
I was very happy with the way those
Alone Again, I like it. Just it's slow, and because of the 2 singles that were released, I didn't know too much what to expect, and that's like the sound I didn't expect coming from it, if that makes sense. So I was thrown off guard.
That's true, yeah.
Very thrown off guard.
The Weeknd also released like an EP a while ago too. Correct. And it was very it was very, very like kind of sad and slower. I think it was either like Blinding Lights or Heartless. It was like a collection of.
Well, there was the 2. Blinding Lights and Heartless was the ones he released.
Those are singles.
Those are 2 singles he released in November, and then it was something else that I believe he did.
Yeah, I do super remember like an EP that came together. Maybe it's not showing up on here. Maybe because a lot of artists like batch together songs that were on an EP and then get rid of it once the album comes out. It's a new like streaming era kind of thing. But either way, there's definitely like a melancholy sad boy Weeknd that happened after that infamous episode, which we'll talk a little more later because it references it. But yeah, this is basically all to say the album's very good, but the beginning of it leaves a little bit to be desired.
For sure.
It's like they're fine songs, but they're definitely just
the production is great.
The production is good. And the production, The Weeknd's leaning heavily on a lot of other people to like help him out here with this. But I think
always has done that.
The biggest turn where like I did my first eyebrow raise started with Escape from LA.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the song I have on my headphone because I really like that song.
Yeah. You want to go into it?
No, you can go.
Okay.
Because no, you were talking about it. I was like, oh yeah.
No, I was gonna say Escape to LA is where like the entire album to me kind of took a turn because it has The Weeknd's like he's starting to really kind of get in. He's starting to really get emotional. And the reason why I disagreed earlier when I said that there was like an arc that The Weeknd's had in his career, and this is actually a change in it, is because it's very apparent, like extremely on the nose actually, that this album, and especially Escape from LA and like the rest of it, is the result of a significant amount of heartbreak The Weeknd has.
Oh,
a significant amount
of turn
of phrase. Like, one of my friends said, you have to be very sad to understand this album.
Well, because that's why I was going to say these 4 songs, Escape from LA, Heartless, Faith, and Blinding Lights, that shit just dives you right in the feels, and those 4 are some of his best work, I think.
Yeah.
By far. The production of it, the lyrics, everything, that mood it sets for it, I loved it.
I was going to pick Faith as my favorite.
Interesting. Mine is... might honestly be Heartless. The production of it is really good. I also like Blinding Light. Like, first off, Metro Boomin is insane. Like, Metro Boomin is ridiculous.
Sean got to say that. Sean is saying that a trap producer is insane and ridiculous. His words.
Metro Boomin is really fucking good. I like a lot of his work. I like a lot of 21 Savage. A lot of that's produced by Metro Boomin. I said in the audioface awards, as much as I hate Drake, I like Drake and Future when they had Metro Boomin produce some of his stuff.
Yeah,
fantastic. Because I think with a lot of Metro Boomin productions is he makes high quality trap. Because the thing, like with I don't know who produced Lil Uzi Vert. Is it just him who produces it, or does he have?
No, we had a team of people.
And a couple other.
It was a range.
Yeah, because
like Lil Uzi Vert had like the basic idea of like I want to sound kind of like this, but a couple of artists like applied their style to that.
So that's my thing with other trap artists. A lot of the times is that they there's a lot of stuff missing to it, or it just feels really stripped down to where it's just a couple instruments. And for trap, you need to produce to it to make it so damn crisp, to make it sound good, or else it feels really cheap because so many people are doing it. And the thing that this whole vibe of the album goes in general is it's that 80s sad boy theme. And I really like that, especially on those 4 songs. Escape from LA, Heartless, Faith, Blinding Lights. Those all, especially like Blinding Lights, that's a straight up like little 80s tune bop theme with a little trap beat underneath it. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. People need to do in trap. They need to mix a bunch of different sounds because you can. We've seen it before, but not many people are doing it. But with those couple songs, I'm like, oh my God, people can do it. And you can have really good vocals over trap beats too. It doesn't just have to be rap.
It's what I try to say. That like there's good trap out there. You have to really find it.
You have to find it. Yeah.
It's really good that like this is in really mainstream shit.
Exactly. Too. So now like
you'll have something to point to.
People are listening to audioface. That's what I'm trying to get to.
And it's also it's trap. It's very like The Weeknd is ambiguous because The Weeknd isn't much of a rapper. It's kind of more like trap and B, kind of like there were a couple albums in like 2017 that were very like this as well by Black with a 6. I was definitely thinking of that. But I just gotta say, Escape from LA has one line that is just like incredible. In addition to being like a really interesting song about like having a bunch of movie references in it, there's one line where you can very tell it's on the nose after the bridge where he's just like, LA girls, they all look the same. I can't recognize the same work done on their face. I don't criticize. It's funny because Sean Suarez actually does criticize that on your face. Like,
100%. You just got to go in the archives and find it.
It's may or may not be episode 88 of Audioface. One can find that. But there's a funny thing because we actually talked about, that was the episode we talked about Gesaffelstein and The Weeknd.
Yes.
And he was like, to pick up on my earlier point, The Weeknd was very much in that time in 2017, and I'm like, I'm the LA boy. I'm dating the fuck boy. I'm the fuck boy. Like,
I'm dating Victoria's Secret models. I am this and that. And
just coming off of Starboy, which was like admittedly a good album, but like he got Daft Punk to produce some songs on it. Like it was a really good like thing. He was doing arena shows. Like he was top of the world, but like you know you get that, you let that get to your head. He needed. The Weeknd needed some of that good old-fashioned humility for him to like struggle enough for him to make a good album, and I think we're better for that.
It's the second half of this album is very, very good. In Your Eyes has is more upbeat coming off of those 4 tracks that are super sad boy. Save Your Tears is good. Like just
the interlude is really good.
I was gonna say that. Repeat after me.
After Hours and Until I Bleed Out, you know what I'm looking for this year. It's the
closers,
the two closing songs that beats Demon Days. This is the closest that's come to it.
It's great,
incredible,
really,
very
really
good. The title track After Hours is very good, and then it leads into Until I Bleed Out very well. But, and I think this is the thing I really look for in these things. Alone, they're both different songs with different vibes.
Yes,
but together they create this whole piece where it's like part 1, part 2 of this grand ending thing. That feels like it has a lot of like depth and power to it. I highly recommend listening to both side by side.
But he surprised me because I thought that I was going to really criticize him because what I've been saying for a while, and a bunch of other people said that The Weeknd, all he does is just curse in really falsetto-y voice. Because again, I remember saying this before. I'm like, he has an amazing voice. He just needs to figure it out a little bit. And yeah, I could see that. He's actually, because especially Escape from LA. A couple other songs, he's getting more into his feelings of like, oh, love is real. It's not just be about being a sad fuckboy.
Love is real. It hurts. Like it's more than just being like more than just by sad but fuckboy. There's also like I in that episode reference aggressive tender DMs guy, and that should give like a certain mood to it. But it's also just like you know you've every stereotype of LA. You move there, and then the city gets to you, and you become this like detached from reality sort of person as a result. And so this is kind of the recovery album for that, and it's a damn good project. Very good. I had to listen to it once or twice to actually go is this really good? Do I like this? And I think I'm just shocked that I do.
It's gonna take me a few more listens to get into it because it's not what I expected from him. Because even
you expected worse or better?
Worse, but like more poppy-ish sounds, more generic sounds. Because when he released the tracks in November, I remember Caesar from the We Made It podcast is like, bruh, you gotta listen to this. And Caesar's the biggest Weeknd hater in the world. And he's like, this is great. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, when did this happen? So this album came out, I really didn't know what to expect, and it's something that did surprise me. It's gonna take me a while to really appreciate it. And I think later down the line, I'll like it even more than I do now. And I think because the more and more I listen to even the opening tracks, I like them. It's just since it's such a pivot and stuff, I have to get into it a little bit more. So it's something that will grow with time. It's like Tranquility Base Hotel Casino, that same feeling I
Similar.
had, like where I'm like, it's gonna take me a long time to like it, and now that album is like on my top 5.
Yeah, that album started really well.
Oh yeah,
and then like carried in a good way. But anyways, like the album we were talking about, the thing, the EP we were trying to
My Dear Melancholy. There we go.
Yes,
Thank you.
My Dear Melancholy.
Thank you.
I knew it exists. Spotify trying to gaslight me there for a second.
Right.
But anyways, Arbitrary Scale. The Arbitrary Scale this week is very thought out, because it is common grocery store items you can't fucking find anymore.
So this is like, this is bread. This is bread. Wonder Bread.
No, I was gonna say this is eggs.
This is eggs and bread. Solid.
Yeah, this is just like the staples.
Eggs and bread. Like it's a pain in the ass to find that shit right now, and people are hoarders because humanity is stupid.